Was it just the followers that made you keep going, or was there something else there?
Well, it's kind of weird because it was a mix of, at the time too, we'd just come home from a US tour with the band. It was my first international tour at the time with the band. And obviously our whole kaupapa in the band is spreading Te Ao Maori with the world. And so this was another avenue for it to show up all of a sudden. And I said, well, I'm already doing this for my job. Why not continue it? And then obviously you potentially find your own benefit, of course, having your own following for the sake of the band, and then vice versa. And then it also just continues that kaupapa that we stand for within the band, which is something we've always been passionate about, and I've always been passionate about, but it's not every day you're walking around going, let me tell you something about our culture, you know. And so when the avenue opened itself up, it was sort of like, yeah, why not? You know, this is pretty cool. And it was seeing how many questions. You know, if no one was interested, there'd be nothing to make a video about. But so many questions, constantly questions. And while it is, and the boys have the same sort of mindset about this as well. It's sort of like, yes, we take it overseas, and we show everyone around the world, but it's to inspire those of us here. You know, because it's only so useful having Americans know about you, but really it's just to show that, yes, it's people are interested, people want this, so those of you back home should also want it and be welcoming to it. And then really, for me, what really started to push my passion for doing this was the first time somebody messaged me and went, oh, hey man, I'm getting my moko because of you. I was like, done. That's it. That's it right there, right? Because that's what we're trying to do. We're trying to, well, on my page, of course, as well, is re-educate, sort of destigmatize all of these things to help people reconnect and decolonize in a way their mindsets, and whether that's for Pākehā or Maori or whoever it is, but whenever you get that message from a Maori person, even something simple like, hey man, your videos made me want to start learning Te Ao Maori again. And you're like, that's it. Bam. That's the whole reason. You know, you could get, I don't care if you get 5 million Americans going, woohoo, one Maori. I'm like, that's it. I'll keep doing this for another week, you know? And they keep coming in. So I just keep going.
Yeah, that's mean as. In terms of that, like, audience, where are the audience from, like, in your split? Like, is it mostly Americans?
It's mostly American. So it's like 50-60% American. New Zealand's actually like 10% or something of my following. You know? It's quite a big split. And they really absorb it over there.
Can you see a difference in commentary from where people are from? Like, how does that change in your comments? Like what are Kiwis saying compared to Americans saying? Is there a difference? Can you tell?
There is a difference. I was talking about this on my live stream this morning. I don't want to use the word dumb question. But more often than not, the questions that you would think are really obvious. Or the answers, I suppose, and you go, man, people really think this sort of things? More often than not come from the Americans. Things like the other night I got asked, like, oh, excuse me, don't want to be rude, but you speak such good English. Where did you learn English? You know, I'm like,
that's hilarious.
It's my first language. You know, or the classic, and this is even the Hawaiians get this one is the grass hut. Like if I'm doing my live stream in a normal building, it's like, wait, you guys live in normal houses? You know, and I don't think it's meant with malicious intent. It's just genuine
ignorance.
Genuine ignorance. And so those sorts of comments, 9 out of 10 times you can expect they're coming from an American. It's just how that is for them and what they're told or not taught over there in their system. And normally it's the sort of the questions that are nearly on the ball are coming from here. So like things like, oh, but I got told this version of this story, and you go, oh, it's not quite correct, you know, that's a mis education point there, and those ones you can guarantee are coming from home. Or our Māori whānau in Australia, you know, because they're just a little bit potentially removed. And so you can definitely see or guess where those questions are coming from.
I would definitely relate to that, because I moved away in 2008 and went to, I lived all around the world, but most of my time was in Australia, UK, Japan. And when I came back in 2019, the shift I saw in culture here was huge. I was like, even just like the way people talked about Waitangi, like just the way they talked about that was so different. I know that there's so much further to go in those conversations, and like channels like yours and stuff help push that. But like even I remember like the way I used to think as a Pacifica kid from out south, what I was taught about like different things around like, you know, like treaty settlements and just like different things and the shit that used to get taught back then or people would say compared to what they say now. I can see how Australian Kiwis would be just enough removed because you weren't here. Like I was literally 3-hour flight away.
Yeah.
And I didn't know what I knew when I got back. And that took me on a big journey. I mean, it's why we created the Nesia network that we created for Māori and Pacifica businesses, because I was trying to discover that. Because I was like, wait, what was this? Like, I thought it was this. And people were like, bro, that's... Like you're straight up racist now thinking that. Like I don't care that you're half Cook Island. Like you're straight up racist saying that. Like, and I like went on this massive discovery about it, like thinking, shit, like that isn't told enough. So I think it's pretty cool, like because then I think TikTok allows that to happen, right? Like allows it, like this sort of conversation on Facebook would have been all hateful remarks to you,
and
right?
it is,
yeah.
You know, like so that's one of the places where I will consistently get negative commentary is Facebook.
Yeah.
You know, Instagram is normally all supportive because it's predominantly your followers, and TikTok's a mixed bag. TikTok, if it goes really viral, is going to have the balance because there's just so many eyes on it. But even Facebook for just low numbers, there's going to be someone going, hey, you know.
It's just so hateful there, right?
Yeah, it is. It is.
I hate going onto Facebook, man. It just like, you're just like, fuck, you got anything better to do? This kind of thing. But it's like, we find on TikTok, like, there's very little hate. Even when it goes real big, and there's always going to be a percentage that's people being dicks on it. It's still a small number.
It is.
As a percentage, right? It's still really tiny.